I'll try to explain you what to do if you have no solution when you try to optimize a formula. So the first thing that you have to do when you click like this on optimize and when the software returns with this message that the analysis has written no optimal solution, is to check your ingredients. Check that you did not forget anything, especially the special ingredients. I call it special, I mean by special minerals, salt, premix. Without them, because you have requirements set in the analysis part, if you don't include these ingredients, it won't be possible for the software to find a solution. So check that you have everything. For example, here we forgot salt. We don't have salt while we have a minimum on sodium. So this is normal. I don't have, or almost normal. I can have a solution. I don't have fish meal, for example, so nothing rich with salt. So I need to select one. Premix, I don't have any premix, so make sure that you select the premix and you select the correct one. So here we have a layer 28 weeks formula, so we need to add the adapted premix for that. Premix layer 2%, that's the one. What can happen is, for example, now I'm formulating a layer formula, and maybe later I will try to formulate a broiler formula. So, and I can forget to change the premix. So I will, for example, formulate a broiler formula with layer premix. In that case, what happened is that the constraints for the layer premix are set as 0, for example, for the maximum. It means I don't want to include this premix in this formula because this premix is not adapted. And of course, it won't be possible for the software to find a solution. So make sure that you have the correct premix selected in your ingredients. So I'll change back to the layer 2020 weeks formula. Okay, I have my premix, salt, I've got a source of calcium, phosphor, so normally it should be okay. So let's say, okay, I try to optimize, and it doesn't work. So now you're in trouble. What you're gonna do is you're gonna check step by step. Try to find out what is the nutrient that causes such issue. So what I do is I untick all the nutrients, and by doing this I will launch an optimization, but these untick nutrients won't be taken into account for the calculation. So I click on optimize and I have a solution. See, I got 20% of copra meal, 72% of maize, 5% of calcium carbonate, etc., etc. And I've got here nutritional analysis. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tick step by step the nutrients and launch an optimization between each time I tick a new nutrient. So let's say I tick crude protein and I optimize. I have a solution. Okay, I tick crude fiber and I optimize. And I have a solution. I click fat, I optimize. Again, I have a solution. I can do that with the main nutrients. By main nutrient, I mean crude protein, crude fiber, fat, energy. And then I have the other ones, so more specific ones, I would say. So let's try with lysine and see what comes out. Okay, no solution. So maybe I have a problem with lysine. Let's check if it's the only one that causes problem. So I untick lysine and I tick all the other ones. And I have a solution. Okay, so I definitely have a big problem with lysine. If you look at the value that is calculated with the mix, the solution we have, we are above the maximum authorized. So it means that when the software tries to find a solution, it cannot find a solution without without taking some ingredients that contain a lot of lysine, and that's why I'm getting a lot of lysine in the mix. It's a waste, so it means that we are losing some money somewhere because we are losing something normally very expensive. Maybe the premix is not properly balanced, and you have to try to find another one because in your context this premix is not adapted, or you have maybe to discuss with your provider and try to have a specific formula, something that contains less lysine, because you have an issue with that. Normally in each context you will face problems, but these problems will always be the same very often. For example, if you are in a context where you have ingredients that contain a lot of crude fiber or fat, then you will very often have problems because you are on the maximum of fat or crude fiber, and it's difficult for you to decrease this value. If you have difficulties to find raw materials that contain crude protein, it will always be difficult for you to meet the minimum requirement of protein. And this for basically all the formulas you will have. So as soon as you have identified what your problems are in your context, then it will be much easier for you to solve. In that case, maybe we have to find a new raw material that contains some protein, but with less lysine in that protein. This and maybe the premix to check and maybe try to find a new premix more adapted to this context, so we can formulate with something better that will be cheaper.